Kristen LaJeunesse here, and you are watching the Will Travel for Vegan Food Marketing series, where I'm posting a video every single day throughout the month of January to help share information about business, lifestyle, and marketing advice, as well as some out-of-comfort zone challenges and dance moves.
We'll travel for vegan food.
Today we have a question from Jessica. Jessica writes, "For me, it's the behind-the-scenes stuff. I can't afford to pay someone to design my blog, so I have to search answers for everything. Takes me way too much time, so in the end my site looks less than stellar, which doesn't attract higher quality brands, which I need to increase my income, which I really need." Oh lady, I have some really good news for you, but before we get to that, it's time for a very gentle and friendly reality check. You said, "I can't afford to pay someone to design my blog, so I have to search the answers for everything." Well, my darling, how else is it gonna get done? You've got to start somewhere. Let me tell you a little story about how I got started doing all of this stuff. A little over 3 years ago, I was reading a book called Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk, and at the same time I was reading The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. Well, between those two books, a fire was lit under my tush like nothing else. And even though I already had a great job, I was determined to start creating a life that was designed by me and doing things that I really loved. And so one of the first things that I dabbled in was creating a blog. I had no clue what it was to start a blog or what it meant. I knew none of the terminology. I didn't know where to go to find answers. I had to do all of the research on my own. So I did. I started getting my hands on all material possible that I could find, and I would stay up really late in ridiculous hours reading things that were just absolutely captivating. And sometimes I'd wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning with an idea, and I just had to put it to use, so I would jump out of bed and go get started on it. Like you, I had no money to spend on extra help, so I had to do all the research myself. And yes, it was a total pain in the butt. However, it also brought me to today, where I now have the ability to share that with other people. I'm doing these videos, I'm doing consulting, and I have a job and I do other projects that are all directly related to the hustle that I put in over 3 years ago. Now at the time, was I happy with how things were looking on my blogs and these little businesses that I was starting? Of course not, but that's what keeps us going, because if you want it badly enough, you will find a way to make it happen. So whether it's doing the work on your own or when you get to a point to have some extra help, totally cool. Not only was doing the work myself putting me at an advantage to do a lot of the work that I'm doing today and helping other people and getting paid to help other people, but it also provided an intangible reward inside for that hustle that I put in. All of that blood, sweat, and tears really paid off as something that I can own and internalize and be proud of myself for doing. I'll let you in on a little secret. Even today, I am not completely 100% super psyched about the way that all of my projects look and function and operate. But that's part of the trick behind it all. You've got to always be striving for something and always growing. As someone who owns a project and that's your own baby, you're never going to be completely satisfied with it. And that's okay, because it means that you're doing all of the right things, you're headed in the right direction, and even if it feels like you're not making much progress, I guarantee that the people around you probably think otherwise. That's simply the name of the game when you are a passion player. When you're going after your dreams and doing what you love, you're always going to be striving for greater, bigger, and better things. And that's totally cool. And you do it not because you have to or because someone is telling you to, but because you want to. And that is what makes it so sweet and awesome and rewarding. Don't forget that attitude is everything here. So if you believe that the products and services that you're putting out, whether it's blog content or you're creating some other kind of product, if you believe it sucks, then other people are going to believe it too. Spend some time focusing on all of the accomplishments that you've made. Put your focus on the things that you have accomplished, like when you put your first blog post up, or figured out what the favicon was, or finally was able to resize that photo without it looking all gobbledygook. The little things, they ultimately build up to the whole, right? So you have to enjoy the journey while you are working toward your bigger goal of making money through your blog. Because if you're not enjoying it, then it's not worth your time, honey. And trust me, I know that it is not easy to keep going sometimes. I mean, you might need to put a project down for a few weeks or a few months or even a few years, whatever it takes. Only pursue it when it feels right and when you're really excited about what you're doing. And if you happen to be in a place where you can't afford to have someone to help you figure it out, then you just gotta keep on hustling, girl. Now, I'd like to point out a few things that I want you to pay real close attention to. The first thing is avoid that mentality that says, when I reach my X goal, then it'll all just be puppies and kittens, because like I said earlier, it's not. You're going to constantly be working and tweaking and striving because you're going to keep learning. And that is how you become a successful business owner. Also, don't forget, and yes, this is cliche, but it's true, we are our own worst critic. I'm willing to bet that your website isn't as bad as you think it is, and I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there who are very impressed with what you've done so far. So don't be too hard on yourself, because I have a feeling that your website and where you are now is exactly where you need to be in order to keep growing and keep learning and developing a service that's going to rock the world. Now, if there's something that you're having a really difficult time figuring out and it's driving you bananas, there is another option. You can always look for bartering opportunities. I've done this actually. I've traded photo shoots and web design for marketing consulting. I guarantee that you know something that someone else doesn't, because that's just the way that the world works. So put that to good use and see if there's anyone out there who'd be willing to barter some graphic design work for whatever it is that you have to offer. And finally, I'm going to leave you with a quote from one of my favorite guys out there, Gary Vaynerchuk. Now, it might sound a little harsh, but it is true, and I am reading this quote to you with the utmost love and compassion. There are two types of people who make up this world: those that whine about their circumstances and those that get off their ass and make things happen. You can either live in the former and remain a nobody, or you can become a true hustler. Now stop crying and keep hustling.
Do the hustle. Do the hustle.
Alright, Jessica, thank you so much for asking that question. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If any of you out there have something to contribute regarding Jessica's question, please feel free to leave it in the comments below this video. If you like what you see here, please subscribe and share this video with your friends. And don't forget to head on over to WTFveganfood.com to sign up for email updates so that you don't miss a single one of these videos. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you tomorrow, where it once again will be the Will Travel for Vegan Food Marketing Series.
Do the hustle.